I guess wanted to start off by giving a plug for American Solutions. It's still time for people to sign up, right?
Exactly right. They can sign up. They can watch it live tonight on their computer. They can go to Dish Satellite or to DirecTV, and again on Saturday. We have 35 different workshops on Saturday, and all of them is accessible through AmericanSolutions.com. And all of them will be archived so that people who wanted to see more than one of them at the same time will be able to go back later for the next year and pull up any one they want to. And we're pretty excited. Students for Social Security Reform, Congressman Brian Bilbray on the border in San Diego, David Barton of Wall Builders on Rediscovering God in America from Des Moines, Governor Romer on education reform from Denver, Julie Gerberding, the head of the Center for Disease Control on preventive health and wellness. Really a wide range. Elaine K. Mark, who headed up the Al Gore Reinventing Government Project on how to replace bureaucracy. Steve Goldsmith, who was an extraordinarily innovative mayor of Indianapolis. A lot of different people.
And diverse, right?
It's a very diverse set of workshops, and everybody's invited. It's Democrat, Republican, Independent. If you're interested in new solutions and new ideas.
I think a lot of people thought it was just going to be you. That you were the only speaker, and it sounds like quite a diverse.
No. I'm sort of the. I introduce the entire parade, but the parade's a lot bigger than me.
Well, I have to ask you the question everyone asks you, but there's a chance to make Matt Lewis a very nice career here, or at least make an announcement on townhall.com. Will you run for president?
I don't know. I've said all along that I will not look at it until after Saturday. And we are going to finish the workshops on Saturday. This is totally bipartisan. It's totally open to everybody. And then on Monday, Randy Evans, who's my good friend and is an attorney in Atlanta, Randy will start a project to see if we can identify $30 million in pledges. And if he does, then Clist and I think, have a citizen's obligation to respond to that level of citizen involvement. But I think that as a middle-class person, I can't compete with Governor Romney, who can write a personal check for $100 million. But if there's a big enough citizen movement that wants to have somebody who could debate Senator Clinton next year, and somebody who could outline and articulate our values, then I think we'd feel compelled to run.
But I would be happy to be on Tavis's show. I've known before. I'd be happy to answer questions. But here's an example of what's wrong with current American politics. No group in America has been cheated by government more than the African American community. Whether it's the Detroit school bureaucracy, which fails to educate children, or it's the Philadelphia system, which fails to defend people from physical violence, or it's downtown Baltimore, which fails to attract and create jobs. I'll give you an example. In 1950, Detroit had 1,800,000 people and was the highest per capita income in America. Today, Detroit has 950,000 people and is number 66 in per capita. Now, the fact that no Republican goes stands in the middle of the public square, surrounded by African American parents who want a better education, surrounded by young African Americans who want a job rather than going to jail, surrounded by people who want physical safety. The fact that we aren't on offense saying, how can the left defend the failed bureaucracies? If you're an African American male and you drop out of high school, you face a 73%
vote. And what is it about Hillary that you think maybe you know about her that others don't?
Well, I don't think it's about her. It's about the way America works. I don't think you beat Senator Clinton by being mean and nasty and negative. I don't think the swift vote veterans model works. I think that the only way to win in a campaign with Senator Clinton is to go to big ideas and big choices and big solutions. For example, 85% of the country believes English should be the official language of government. She's opposed to it. 89% of the country believes that workers ought to have the right to have a secret ballot election before they're forced into the union. She's on the other side. Overwhelmingly, 80% of the American people want to have an optional flat tax, which would allow them to have a essential one-page tax return. She would be opposed to that. So I think you want to build. I'm for abolishing capital gains, period, both corporate and individual. She would oppose that. I am for abolishing the death tax. She would oppose that. So when you go down that kind of a list, if you make it a choice between two ways of thinking about America, I think that our way of thinking about America attracts about 75% of the country, and then she's got to go up there. If it's a normal, traditional political campaign, at the end of 8 years of a presidency that has lost popularity and has lost particularly the independents, then I think you have a very hard time. Then we're running uphill. So that's why I would position, I would talk about a totally different approach.
Why is it that the other candidates aren't capable of talking about big ideas? Is it because they don't have the... What do you think? Do you think it's because they don't have the imagination, or is it the consultants?
These are all good, decent, hardworking people, and I'm not going to try to analyze them. I'll give you an example of difference. Some of them thought that they would announce on Leno or Letterman or something like that.
You're going to do it here on Town Hall, though.
Well, to be fair, I would probably do it on C-SPAN. And I'd probably do it with an hour-long speech. And I'd probably say, saving America, solving the energy problem, solving the environment, solving the border, solving immigration, it takes an hour. I mean, this is serious stuff, and you have to deal with it as adults. And I think that we're in a situation, for example, I think 10 or 11 people doing what is in effect an extended press conference is not a debate. I would be happy one-on-one, if I ever do run, to debate any Democrat or any Republican for 90 minutes, one-on-one, because that's a real debate. But I wouldn't go and stand as one of 12 or 15 people waiting patiently for some, reporter to decide what question to throw me.